In most parts of the country, you, me or anyone can open up a salon. You don't need qualifications to practice, and I can tell you from experience, there's some shocking work out there. A few years ago, I had some lip fillers and ended up with 2 small hard lumps right in the middle of my lips. Attractive. Each week we're going to be investigating various beauty disaster stories and try to discover what went wrong. Tonight, the semi-permanent cosmetics that cause long-term damage.
It's just knocked me, completely knocked me.
She got a pair of tweezers and was just ripping my eyelids apart.
I'm on the case of the salons responsible. What sort of glue were you using that caused this client of yours to end up in A&E? Us girls spend on average 300 days of our lives applying makeup, and it costs us £9,000. But you can say goodbye to all this lot with semi-permanent makeup. Then again, if it goes wrong, it'll take more than a wet wipe to get it off. As 34-year-old mum of 3, Michelle Musselwhite from Liverpool, found out to her cost.
I did overpluck my eyebrows, so that's probably why they were lighter and there wasn't much hair there.
She thought the answer to her makeup nightmares was semi-permanent eyebrow tattoos.
I said to my husband, wouldn't it be great if I could just have them tattooed?
We sort of talked about it and I said to her, it'd be a nice treat for you to have that done.
But her eyebrow tattoos turned out to be a cosmetic catastrophe.
I researched on the internet and I found a really good deal, 175 for eyebrows, and this is what I'm left with. This one here is longer. It's also thinner here than this one, and this has got like a dip. They just don't look the same. It's just knocked me, completely knocked me. I hate going out. I'm sorry.
Today, instead of fuss-free brows, Michelle will need an art degree to paint them in properly.
I have to colour in all that light bit there first. And then on this side, I start here because this is the part that is a bit lighter than the rest. And I give it a colour in. To do all this every day, probably be about half an hour, 45 minutes.
Richard the sky.
She's no longer relaxed about her appearance.
I won't go out unless I've coloured them in. It's affecting me. If I'd have known, I'd never have got them done.
More of us than ever are opting for semi-permanent makeup, but it's not cheap and eyebrows can set you back around £500. The procedure involves a needle which implants ink just below the skin surface, but not as deep as a normal tattoo. But if semi-permanent makeup goes wrong, you could be stuck with it for months. Michelle's coming to London to meet me, and she's donned a cunning disguise.
I wouldn't go out without these, because I didn't know what else to do. And they hide my eyebrows. Enough.
I'm hoping to find out what went wrong.
I am pretty worried about what she's going to think of me when she sees me.
So I know it's going to be a little difficult for you, but do you mind if I see your eyebrows? Okay, so I can see straight away. Is that one going up a little bit higher than the other one? A bit more like that?
Yeah. Is it square? Is it round? I don't know.
I can't believe someone's actually done this to you. How's it affected your confidence?
I won't go out without me semi-permanent makeup on because I'm paranoid and I get quite anxious that people can see it.
So tell me about this lady who did them for you. How did you come across her in the first place?
I went on the internet to search for best price, obviously, and she had a conservatory made into like a beauty room, if you like, and she had the uniform on, you know. It looked to me quite professional.
And at what point, when she was doing your eyebrows, did you think, something's not actually right here?
After I had the first procedure, they scabbed over and you had to wait for it to fall off, you know, before you could see the end result. And this eyebrow was a lot lighter, just like it is now, really. I went to see her for my top-up and I explained they don't look the same. And she said, don't worry, they'll be all right after your top-up. And no difference at all.
Have you told her now that you're still not happy with it? And she said, well, come in and I will redo it.
Yeah, she said, you know, the correction that needs doing on them, come and see me and I'll fix it. And I just thought, you've got no chance. You are not touching me.
Well, Michelle, I think we need to find out how the world of semi-permanent makeup is actually regulated. And secondly, I think we need to find out if we can help you.
Fix them.
Hopefully. How's that sound?
That'd be fantastic. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I really, really feel for Michelle right now. Her eyebrows are so badly done, and your eyebrows are so important to frame your face. I just can't imagine what she's going through right now.
Jess suggested that she's going to see if she can try and get some help in correcting them, which I'm absolutely over the moon about. I can't stress enough how happy I am about it. Just beaming.
If there's one event that will prompt anybody into trying out a new beauty treatment, it's getting married. But one bride-to-be had a makeover that could ruin her big day. After a 7-year engagement, 24-year-old hairdresser Louise Bethera from Kent is finally getting hitched to fiancé Jacko in just a few weeks' time.
He blew up some balloons, and in the balloons were some bits of paper, and it said, "If I told you that I loved you, would you marry me?" And then he just got down on one knee and asked me to marry him properly.
We've got a chart or a graph for every part of the wedding so far, haven't we? Just so everything runs smoothly. Hopefully, that's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one thing they didn't plan for was the bride-to-be having a beauty disaster.
I first thought, oh my God, it's my wedding. Am I missing out my lashes?
The problem started when Sister Katie arranged a pre-wedding treat, £20 eyelash extensions at this salon, Bollywood Brows in Gloucester.
So I went in, sat down, she put the pads under my eyes. She then started to put the lashes on, probably about 20 minutes after she had started doing it. I said, "I think my eyelids are stuck together." And she said, "No, what it is, your eyelashes are stuck down to the pad that's underneath your eyes, and when I take them off, you'll be able to open your eyes." So she put all the lashes in, took the pads off from under my eyes, and she goes, "Right, okay, if you want to open your eyes." And I said, "Well, I can't open my eyes."
Shockingly, Louise's eyelids had been stuck together.
She got a pair of tweezers and was just ripping my eyelids apart. I was going, "Oh, it's really hurting." And she said, "Yeah, this is the bit that people find uncomfortable."
Her lashes took a real bashing. Most were ripped out, leaving her with bald and patchy lids.
And then the manager came over and she said, "If you're not happy, you don't have to pay for it." And so I said to her, "I'm not paying for you to rip my eyelashes out now. Of course I'm not."
Overnight, the beauty blunder turned into a medical emergency as Louise's eyes became irritated and her lids swelled.
I went to A&E and the nurse said, "It looks to me like they've used super glue," because nothing was coming off.
As glue this strong can cause permanent eye damage, Louise wonders if her flutter was worth it.
I mean, I'm still missing loads, a great big gap up here, and it's my wedding in like 6 weeks' time. I just hope it's going to be okay. Biggest day of my life.
We're in the biggest false lash boom since the 60s. Expect to pay from £45 for basic extensions to over £200 if you fancy them made from mink. Single lashes are stuck to your own and they can last for up to 2 months. But beware eyelash addicts, repetitive overuse can lead to bald patches. I want to speak to Bollywood Brows in Gloucester about Louise's case, but first I need to work out what went wrong. So I'm taking the girls to one of the UK's leading eyelash salons in Knightsbridge, London.
Thank you so much for coming.
Lash expert Sue Marsh has agreed to cast her beady eye over Louise's lids.
Louise has had a very painful experience, and I would obviously like to see how I can help. But that does depend on how Louise's eyelashes are going back.
This is our bride. This is Louise.
Nice to meet you.
And this is bridesmaid and sister Katie. This is Sue.
Hiya.
Got some pictures here when he had the original eyelashes done. I was hoping they might help you shed some light on what's happened.
Yeah, you still have extensions on here, Louise, and the glue looks dreadful. There's an awful lot of glue, and I can see that your eyelids have swollen, your lower lids are very swollen and irritated. This adhesive is the strong adhesive, and you can tell by the reaction that you have here that you're allergic to that adhesive. It shouldn't normally come into contact with your eyelid or your skin. It's designed to work on the hair of the lash.
Sue thinks not only was the glue applied badly, but the technician used the wrong kind of lashes for the job.
This is a commonly known flare lash. It should be used with an adhesive that lasts overnight or for a night out.
Yeah. I didn't know that those flare lashes were only dailies or nightlies. I didn't know that.
No, that's certainly not something that you would be seen to be wearing on a day-to-day basis that has been adhered to your eyelashes to last for anything up to 2 weeks or 2 months is ridiculous. It can't do that. The weight is too heavy.
Why would they do that?
In my opinion, the person applying the product, I don't think has been trained correctly.
So you girls basically went in wanting semi-permanent eyelashes. They used semi-permanent glue, but used these daily eyelashes.
With the wedding now so close, Louise is desperate to find out if her own lashes will have grown back enough to support a set of falsies.
What are you looking for? I'm just looking to see what the recovery is like with her natural eyelashes on her lid and the lower eyelashes.
So, Sue, what's the verdict?
They look to be relatively normal, so I think going on that means that I could do something to help you for your wedding day.
Yay! Lovely. Thank you.
That would be lovely.
Thank you.
I've also been investigating Michelle Musselwhite's bad brow job to find out if anybody protects you by regulating this type of salon procedure. When we contacted Liverpool City Council in 2011, they're the local authority covering Michelle's area, we got a bit of a surprise. They told us that anybody who wanted to open up a semi-permanent makeup salon would have to comply with the health and safety regulations, but don't actually need to be registered. So basically, they don't have to have training before they start trading. And kitting yourself out couldn't be easier. All the equipment you need to set up a semi-permanent makeup salon is available online. So here's a machine for £2,500. Now I could just pop that into my shopping cart without any apparent requirements to prove that I'm actually trained, and I'd probably make my money back after about 10 or so treatments. So I want the women of Liverpool to know it's up to them to make sure they put their brows in the hands of the professionals. This may not look like much at the moment, but it's about to become a brand new pop-up semi-permanent makeup salon right in the heart of Liverpool. Oh yes, brilliant. 1, 2, 3, eyebrows are us! We're telling would-be punters we're offering eyebrow tattoos at £35 a pair as part of a promotion for a new salon. I want to find out how many people ask me the vital question, have you had any training? Now, if anybody does ask me that, I'm going to be completely honest and say, actually, I've had no training whatsoever. I don't know how to apply semi-permanent makeup, and I don't even know how to use my machine. Ah! How many people are going to allow me to sit them in my chair, turn on the machine, and start tattooing them without even asking about my qualifications? Welcome to Eyebrows Are Us. What's your name? Beata. It's from Potties. My first clients take a seat. But will they ask about my qualifications? Can I get you just to sign a waiver form first? I just need you to read through this for me. Put your name, date of birth, address, phone number, and have a good read of that for me, and then sign at the bottom. There's absolutely no mention of qualifications on this form. Even so, every one of my potential punters signs it. So it's on with the consultation. The shape that you have right now, that's what you prefer, that's what you quite like? You've had them tattooed already?
I've had them done before, but they need doing again.
When did you have the last tattoo?
About 3 years ago.
I'm just going to measure you. I'm just going to move your hair out of the way a little bit. So we have 2 types of ink. We have a medium ink and a dark ink. Questions?
No.
Okay. Any more questions?
No.
Right, you sure you're ready to go, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Right, Amanda, I'm really sorry, I'm not actually going to be tattooing your eyes today.
Why?
Well, it's nothing to do with your eyebrows, but I'm not actually a semi-permanent makeup artist. These cameras aren't here today to film our promotional video. We're filming a consumer series about beauty salons. 5 people sat in my chair, but what made every one of them happy enough to let me put a needle to their face?
The offer that was on and what have you, that's why I came.
So it was mainly because of the price?
Yeah, because of the price.
I've never done it before in my What were you thinking? Why didn't you ask me about certificate or insurance?
It's like a mild tattoo, isn't it?
You must ask to see a certificate of training. You must ask to see before and after pictures of clients that they've already done, insurance, and you must have a patch test as well.
It's my own fault really, because I didn't ask to see any qualifications, any certificates, anything like that. So I was out my ass. I'll make sure next time I'm going to do check out things.
I hope I've proven that if an offer looks too good to be true, it often is. Hopefully the girls of Liverpool will think twice before getting their semi-permanent eyebrows done. When we contacted Liverpool City Council, they told us they are now considering a registration scheme for semi-permanent makeup artists. Earlier, I met with Michelle, whose semi-permanent makeup left her with wonky brows. I want to free her from those ever-present shades, so I've enlisted the help of makeup maestro Kevin Fortune.
As a makeup artist, it's my job to enhance a woman's natural beauty and to bring out her features.
Kevin's analysed photos of Michelle to work out exactly why her brows are wrong for her face.
When I look at this picture, I can immediately understand why Michelle may be upset with her eyebrows. One is darker than the other, which gives the illusion of it sitting back and so distorting the whole angle and shape. Another thing I notice is that the eyebrows are quite high up. So on Michelle's face, it gives her an unflattering look of a puffy eyelid, which she doesn't have. Something else is that her eyebrows are a little bit too close together. So that gives an illusion of frowning or looking slightly upset or slightly angry. But when we cover the eyebrows, Michelle's got this really soft, gentle look in her eyes. So the whole look together gives us a different kind of communication.
Let's have a look at the virtual make-back.
Okay, so let's start again and see if we can do a slightly better improvement. So what I've done here, I have kind of chosen a shape and a style in which I think really works for Michelle's face. I've given her a soft, gentle arch to the eyebrow and dropped them down a little bit. So it gives a much gentler, softer, kinder expression to her face. Another thing I've done is I've just lengthened the brow because Michelle does have a full face. I think the overall look gives Michelle a much gentler, softer, kinder, more approachable look to her face, and I think it really works.
Kevin's clearly shown me why Michelle's brows have been something to frown at, and I'm more determined than ever to sort them out. The experts have confirmed Lash Bash Louise and Brow Beater Michelle have both received poor treatment at the hands of the salons.
I want to put these allegations to the beauticians and see what they have to say, so let's see if they'll meet up with me.
Bawdy Lash bride-to-be Louise is finally about to get a fab flutter from eyelash guru Sue Marsh.
All right. Yes. How are you? Nice to see you.
Are you nervous?
Slightly nervous,
Oh.
yeah.
Well,
I think it's just because it's only 3 days to go to the wedding, so I just want to get everything done.
Yeah. If you'd like to follow me in, and I'll do a proper consultation for you. Well, your eyelashes are looking much better when I've finished treating you today. You're just going to look like you were born with beautiful, voluptuous eyelashes. So if anything feels uncomfortable, just tell me.
To create a solid base of colour, Sue's tinting Louise's natural lashes.
I'm just going to catch the tips of those. I'm going to use a mixture of brown and black.
Sue's using long-lasting glue to apply the lashes, but unlike last time, it won't be going anywhere near Louise's eyelids.
The extension itself should only rest on the hair shaft, the eyelash hair shaft itself, in order so that you don't get a reaction from the adhesive itself.
This is no beauty quick fix. Sue's applying lashes of different colours and lengths, one at a time.
Because it's your wedding, I think you deserve a set of beautiful eyelashes, because all brides cry. So this is the one way of not having any mascara running down your cheeks. I'm really pleased. If I'm happy, I think you'll be delighted. It's my work, I'm really excited. I think she looks absolutely stunning.
After over 4 hours of fiddly work, Louise finally has a fab set of falsies. But what does our bride-to-be think?
Oh my god. I can't believe it. They look absolutely beautiful. I love them. Yeah, I feel very confident on the wedding day, I reckon. I'm really, really happy, very happy with the result.
I'm back in Liverpool with a surprise in store for Michelle. I've set up an appointment with semi-permanent makeup artist Hazel Furlong. She's tattooed hundreds of new brows and also trains people in the art.
I know that Michelle is really disappointed in the previous treatment that she's had, but I won't really know if I can fix it until I see her for myself. Hello!
Oh, lovely to see you again.
How are you doing?
All right.
Yeah?
I'm scared.
You don't know why you're here yet.
I know, I'm all excited.
Listen, I brought you here today to meet a professional semi-permanent makeup artist.
Yeah.
So she's going to assess what's happened to your eyebrows, and then she's going to see if she can do anything to fix them.
No?
Yes. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Should we go and find out?
Please.
Come on then, Michelle.
To work out if she can help Michelle, Hazel needs to analyse the brows.
So yeah, you can see under here where the pigment has come out of the skin. Yeah, it's the same first. It's a little bit thicker here.
Can you explain to me what actually went wrong in the first place, what this lady did?
Just simply being the wrong colour choice, poor drawing technique, and obviously overworking the skin, most probably.
So Hazel, the big question is, can you correct them without having to go down the line of removing them?
I think we've got a really good balance with the shape here, so it's completely up to you. I'm happy to go ahead if you are.
Yeah, definitely, thank you.
After 5 months of wonky brows, that's great news for
I'm
Michelle.
going to start you with an initial scratch. A bit easier this time?
Oh yeah, much better.
Let's deepen it ever so slightly. You ready to take a look at your new brows?
Oh my god. Oh, they're gorgeous. I love them.
You're happy?
Like, really? Yeah, I can't believe it. I don't have to draw them on anymore.
Over the next 2 weeks, Michelle's new brows will peel and heal. Then we'll know if they really are finally even. In the meantime, I've come to Gloucester to get answers about Louise's bad lashes. But speaking to the salon, Bollywood Brows in Gloucester is proving tricky. They have shut down.
So I'm going to go in and talk to some of the shops that are next door to the salon to find out when the salon closed down and if they know where the owner has gone.
The salon wasn't open, and I've discovered it hasn't traded since August of this year.
I don't want to give up, so I'm going to find out where the owner's gone.
It's going to take some digging, but as the salon could reopen, I'm determined to track down the owner of Bollywood Brows.
I've just done a bit of research and found out that the owner and the business are both registered at a different address.
It's a residential address, so my best bet is to get there early, just to make sure I catch the owner.
I want to show her this picture of Louise and find out how she feels knowing the painful predicament that Louise says that she went through. I'm just waiting now for the lady to come out. It's one of those situations where if you blink, we might miss her. She's here now, she's just pulling up in a car. But yeah, we're going for it in a second.
Are you Yvette? Hi, I'm Jess, I'm from the BBC. I just want to ask you a few questions regarding a client of yours who ended up in A&E. I've got a picture of her, she's called Louise. I just want to know if your beauticians were trained. What sort of glue did you use?
What are you doing?
What sort of glue were you using that caused this client of yours to end up in A&E?
Why? No comment.
Oh, why did your client end up in A&E? Did you use a patch test?
Yes, I did.
Then why did your client end up in A&E?
This is ridiculous.
Were your beauticians actually trained?
Well, she wasn't too happy about that. She said that her beauticians were trained, but that's still no explanation as to why that's happened.
If there's one thing I've learnt is that you should always ask what training your beautician has had. A patch test is so simple, and if your beautician is professional, then they should know how to use the right materials in a correct way. So don't be afraid to ask, and don't assume that just because a shop looks pretty that you're going to get what you paid for. Back in Liverpool, it's been 2 weeks since Michelle got her replacement eyebrows. Have we finally turned that frown upside down?
I absolutely love my eyebrows. They're fabulous. I just love being able to get up every day and not have to pen them in and things, just be able to go out. It really is life-changing.
I've finally got my old Michelle back, and it's so nice to see her with this renewed confidence and her bubbliness about her again.
My eyebrows make me feel really confident. I'm able to now just walk into a room and not feel embarrassed and step back or hide behind my husband. I'm the one now who just goes in first.
Michelle's finally happy. I think that's cause for celebration. Oh, I love a good wedding, and it looks like Louise's lashes well and truly saw her up the aisle.